When I say social media to you, what comes to your mind? Your favorite celebrities, cute pictures of cats, or maybe even news? You see, statistics from Statista 2021 report that on average, people spend 4 to 5 hours on their phone. Now let me ask you, what about you? Myself, I'm always on my phone, but I know that there are dangers to this. You see, whenever you're using your phone, you're always consuming some kind of media, whether they're being funny videos or some serious news reports. Social media is so powerful because it influences your thinking and opinions, maybe even when you're not aware. You see, millions of people use it nowadays because you can access it anywhere and it's free. And now, to continue with this, I might tell you that social media is a place of fake news, and this is harmful to unaware viewers. So let's continue. Why does social media have so much power? You see, social media is great for businesses. They promote their products all the time, maybe even if you're not aware. Your favorite influencer is wearing some shirt. Maybe they've been sponsored, and now you will go out there and buy it as well. But you see, besides digital marketing, which is huge, we should talk about communities. All of you are part of some social media community. We all know platforms such as YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, and so on, you name it. And you see, in those communities, they're usually consisted of strangers or friends, right? And all of these people share the same interests, hobbies, perspective, and opinions. But you might see the issue to such communities. They often only have one point of view, one perspective, right? And they're kind of like bubbles. They circulate the same opinion all the time. So this can be bad for the viewers and the users of this community because they don't see other sides' perspective. And really the only way to battle this is for you, as the users, to go out there and read different sources or join communities with contrasting views and opinions of yours. But continuing now, we all know Facebook and YouTube. They have been the dominant platforms for the past 10 years. But now, TikTok is catching up. It's very popular among viewers whose age are from 15 to 30, and probably in this room, most of you have it. Right? TikTok was made for dances, challenges, and funny entertainment. But now, it's also a source of news. You see, whenever you go on there, you might see some creators who report news, but how do we know they are even the experts? You see, an anti-misinformation, in the 2021 elections in the US, many TikTok users had used deepfakes and fake photos of politicians to persuade the voters. And this can be harmful, right? How do we tell apart if this is real or just a deepfake? And furthermore, if we're talking about TikTok, we should mention the Ukraine-Russian war. Yes, we all know that social media did so much for the war. They spread awareness, right? And they gave aid to Ukrainians all over the world. However, there's also false information and fake news. For example, NewsGuard, which is an anti-misinformation outlet, ran an experiment. The researchers had watched TikTok content about the war for 45 minutes. After the time, they have noticed that there is some truth, some verified information, I mean by that, and there's also some fake news. You see, most of the fake news were about US having bioweapon laboratories in Ukraine, right? This can be such stressful news, right, if you don't know what's going on and if you're unaware. There are also many photoshopped videos or pictures of Putin at various meetings. This can cause stress, disgust, or fear in us. Another issue to TikTok is that it doesn't show any warnings about the credibility, and many users don't give any references, sources, or links. So how on earth do we say if this is true or no? So please, whenever you click the share link, make sure that what you're sharing is the truth. Read other news sources, especially ones that have different perspectives on it. Because remember, every reporter has their bias. Now, continuing. What are some traditional news sources that you know? TV stations, radios, newspapers. They have been used for the decades, right? But the issue with TV news is that they often require cable TV, which you need to pay for. The same comes to newspapers. Why buy them when everything is free online? It's easier to watch news clips on YouTube for free, right? But you see, the thing is with newspapers that they often have verified journalists and authors. So we can do a little background research on the author and find out who they are. And this doesn't happen on random TikTok posts and Instagram posts. However, there is also an issue to TV stations. Sometimes they have propaganda. If you look in Poland, the public often criticizes the TV station TVP Info because people say they report news from the ideological perspective of the Peace Party. Well, some people may disagree and say they don't. However, we can see that they still criticize other parties in a negative light. This can have a great impact on the country, especially during elections. However, please remember this can happen anywhere. This doesn't apply only to TV stations. Social media can have the same thing. Propaganda is everywhere, you just don't know it. So, whenever you're reading some source, please just make sure it's verified, you know the author, and you also look at different sources that have different perspectives. Social media is very broad, right? The digital world is huge. And it's more likely for you to run into perspectives that are different. But you must also remember that your algorithms are personalized, meaning that what you see is probably something that you support. So, how to conclude this? Who do we trust? First of all, anyone can call themselves an expert nowadays. This is very dangerous. So whenever you read something, read the author. Next, what can you do? Social media lies, okay? Something that you hear in the news doesn't mean it's true. So now, for me, social media is this mystical thing. It's growing every day. It's evolving right in front of your eyes. So now, the audience, whenever using any platform, any app, question yourself if what you're reading is true. Question yourself if it's credible, who wrote it, when, and what. So please, now when you're on your phone, be more aware. Thank you.